Okay, and here we finally are to the Q&A video I have been promising you for a week. So I have all these questions here that you've all submitted over the last week, and I'm just going to go through them and see which ones that I want to talk about today. And yeah, I'm really comfy. Let's get this started. Let's get this party rolling. Okay. These are so funny. I love you guys. Should be getting close to your birthday. Yes, it is. Wait, let me look through these because a lot of people are just saying hello and I love this. Okay, this is a great one. What advice would you give to your 20-year-old self? Your 20-year-old self? What advice would I give to my 20-year-old self? You know what? One thing about people ask me, like, if you could go back and change something, I would go back and change nothing. Not a damn thing. Because everything that I went through to this point right now has helped me get where I am right now. I'm already sweating. So saying to my 20-year-old self, I would say keep doing the things that you're doing, because where it's going to take you, you're going to be absolutely amazed where you are about to go over the next 10 years. That's what I would say to my 20-year-old self. I would say make the mistakes that you need to make to learn, because that's the only way you're going to come up and grow and evolve and elevate yourself, by making the mistakes that you made at 20. Okay, tips for leaving a toxic relationship. How to be okay with being alone and moving on. This is huge because we see so many people nowadays staying in toxic relationships, which I had done myself prior to meeting my husband. But things about staying in toxic relationships it's our addiction to the toxicity. Literally, we get energetically addicted to the toxicity, and physically, because we know nothing but. And a lot of people who are in toxic relationships will notice a pattern in their life to what even led them up to that toxic relationship. One thing that I would say about moving from a space of a toxic relationship is telling yourself every day that you deserve the best. You deserve the best. You deserve the best. You deserve the best. Because being in a toxic relationship, sometimes that person who is the toxic person will drill in our heads that we are, we don't deserve anything, or we're a shitty person. And so then we start to believe it, because remember how the mind works. When you start feeding it something, it's going to magnify what you're feeding it. So if you have somebody feeding you these negative thoughts and associations of yourself, that's how you're going to see yourself. So the way to start moving out of a toxic relationship is start talking to yourself and do things for yourself so that you feel worthy enough, first of all, to move on. And second, so that you end up stepping into this space where you're like, I do deserve the most. I do deserve the best. I do deserve to be happier. And then you start making choices to move on from that space, even if it's slowly. Remember, things don't happen overnight. Things you don't just change shit overnight, and it takes time. But working on yourself and knowing, like when that toxic person is trying to tell you that you're not worthy enough, counteracting that in your head with, I am worthy enough. I am worthy enough. Giving yourself some time every single day to put yourself in the throne that you belong in, which will then start helping you make different choices by feeding yourself that worthiness mentally. Also, talk to somebody. What I just heard come through was seek out a counselor, or seek out somebody that you can talk to that can help you through that space. finding a good support system around you is always beneficial when moving on from a toxic relationship, because then you know that you have the support to do so, right? Even if it's like you have to go somewhere and find somebody, and it's not family or friends, but it's like a therapist or a guidance, you know, a spiritual guide or a counselor or something that can reassure you that you're in a safe space and that you have the support, and that can help you gain the other tools that you may need to move on from that space. Remember, coming out of a relationship like that isn't always the easiest thing, you know. Some people, more power to them, they know how to just leave. For me, it took some time, and I started to preoccupy myself with other things like yoga. And I actually met my husband around the time that I was leaving my previous relationship, but I didn't want to date. I just wanted somebody to talk to. So finding friends or family members or somebody to talk to, again, whether it's a counselor, a spiritual guide, a therapist, and knowing and reassuring yourself that you are really not alone. You're not going to be alone forever, right? It's like that fear of, I don't want to be alone forever. Well, guess what? There are billions of people in this world. And as you start taking care of yourself, the person who actually deserves you, the person who is going to treat you with the worthiness of your worth, will find you when you start taking in that energy yourself. This too, Spirit is like telling me, like, you know, speak about this on the physical plane and the spiritual plane. Because on a spiritual plane, on the energetic plane, when it comes to toxicity, it's really about redirecting the energy of why you're connected to that toxicity in the first place, which could be your traumas from when you were younger or karma from a past life. But on a physical plane, like finding people to talk to, mentors or guidance counselors or spiritual guides or those things, and really reassuring that support. I cannot stress that enough. Finding some support around you and within you will definitely help you move on from that toxic relationship, because it's not always easy, especially when you're like, I lost everybody in my life because I stayed in this toxic relationship. You didn't lose everybody. There are people that are still there for you and are waiting for you to take the first step and moving on from that space. I hope that helped a little bit for whoever's going to watch this that is trying to move on from a toxic relationship. And remember, and people who don't understand the energetic world will be like, you can't just affirm yourself out of a space. Hell the fuck you can. Yes, you fucking can. Because you are changing the way, you remember, the mind is the most powerful fucking thing in your body. If you feed your mind, good things about yourself, your body will start attracting that. Your energy will start attracting those good things to give you the opportunity to do those good things. It doesn't mean it's going to do it for you. You do have to make a choice. You do have to make a move, but you can fucking change your life by changing the way you think. If somebody says you're a piece of shit, but you know you're not, then that's not going to affect you. Get what I'm saying? So if you're in a toxic relationship and you start taking care of your mindset, reading books, one that I haven't read yet, but everybody's talking about it, is Becoming Supernatural. So I have not read it. I downloaded it, but the voice that was reading it was just not my favorite voice. So I stopped listening to it. But from what I'm seeing, and that popped up in my head, so being able to learn how to redirect your thoughts and how to use the power of the mind to carry over into this physical world. For those who are watching this and you'll be like, you can't do that. Guess what? You have not tapped into the full potential of your existence yet, because you're still living on the physical level of life. Remember, there is much more than what we can see to this life. The energetic level of our life is what actually controls everything. So until you tap into that, you're only living on the surface of your life. So remember, your mind controls everything. Take care of your mind. Take care of your mental health. Change the way you think about yourself. Change the way you think about others. Even the person who is toxic, even the toxic person that you're in the relationship with, altering your perspective about that person will change the way you see everything. Because remember, toxic people are hurting also. So remembering that that person's hurting you because they're not healing, but you're doing the healing, will help you change that perspective. When I started altering my perspective about my ex, who was my toxic relationship, I actually really forgave him. And that's a question here. We'll talk about forgiveness, but I forgave him, and I wrote him a letter and said, thank you. Thank you for that relationship that made me stronger, because I realized that it wasn't you that was trying to hurt me. It was the hurt inside you that was hurting me. And we made peace, and that was really awesome. And I was able to move on from that space and send him love and kindness, even though he was physically abusive. But I remembered that me forgiving him will help him forgive himself. And it's not easy, you know, it's not easy to forgive somebody who is physically abusing you or sexually abusing you, you know, but remembering when you get to that level, when you get to that space where you are able to do so, because there will be other things that you need to take care of before you start forgiving that other person, right? But when you start taking care of your mind, you'll want to forgive that person, because you know that you don't want to be the person who's hurting and hurting others just like they were. That was just a blabber. So who knows what the fuck I just said, but I hope it helps somebody. Okay, what are some of your ways to ground your energy daily? I exercise, I meditate, I spend time with my ancestors, I recite things. I was telling somebody today, I'm like, I need to ground myself. I'll say, I am grounded, fearless, and focused. And I am affirming that in myself. My energy is now aligning to that, and now I am grounded. People think, remember, but you have to be connected to that space. So people think like you have to do something so intensive. Now, yes, if you are extremely ungrounded and you don't make it a habit every day, you will have to do something else in addition to affirming to yourself that you're grounded, like exercise, yoga, breathing, chakra work, eating specific foods. Root veggies are great for grounding your energy. Excuse me, I just burped. Drinking dandelion tea, patchouli, burning or putting patchouli on you, which is one of my favorite ways. I will burn patchouli in my house when I'm like super ungrounded and get a really high intensity lower body exercise in, so that I'm bringing my energy from up here and physically and energetically pushing it down throughout my legs. Yes, I'm excited about this academy because we're going to go really in depth in the chakras, in meditation, and other things such as that. Okay, now I'm freezing, even though it's like 57 degrees out or something. Where would you like to go to explore that you've never been before? Ooh, I don't know. I have so many places I want to go. I love being in the woods, and I love being in the rainforest. So something there. Okay, another one, tips on grounding. My normal meditations and visualizations aren't coming through. You're thinking way too much about it because you're like you're stuck on how things normally look rather than being in a space of allowance. So let me back up, because I have been there before. There was a time where I'm like, I want things to look this way, but instead of accepting the way things were, I was trying to force my meditations or my visualizations to look a specific way rather than accepting what they were at that time. And so then you create more resistance. So my advice to whoever that question was for, whoever submitted that question, is let go, surrender, ground yourself in a space of surrender. Whether it's affirmations, whether it's doing a meditation on surrender, whether it's writing affirmations on surrender, whether it's just repeating, I surrender. One of my favorite affirmations that I have on sticky notes, because I have sticky notes all over my house, is I am always in a space of allowance, receiving what is for me. Because there was a space that I was in where I was resisting what is meant for me by trying to force things into my life, rather than saying, okay, this is what I need at this time, and Spirit's bringing this through. My ego may want this, and it will get that, but by accepting and receiving what is meant for me. So I am in a space of allowance. Surrender. Things will be the way that they need to be for you in order for you to continue to learn. How to create a spiritual cleaning routine. I like this. So, a lot of you know that I had a little apothecary that I kind of let go for a second. But I still make these things for myself at home. So I will do, which I didn't do last month, which is really odd. And it was maybe because my husband cleaned the house during the full moon unintentionally while I was gone, or like right around it when I was gone in Florida last month. But I will make a floor wash. It's a traditional hoodoo practice, and I will make my floor wash, and then I also put it in a spray bottle. So it's now energetically charged as a cleaning, as energetic cleaning and physical cleaning, because I will add all natural cleaning supplies in with it. So then when I cleanse my whole house, I will feel the energy physically cleaning, because I am cleaning with that spray. So you can make something like that. I also am huge on using lots of incense, and I will burn the herbs. Hyssop is one of my favorite for cleansing and blessing my home. Again, patchouli is one of my favorite because it's a grounding. It will cleanse the higher things that are like not allowing me to focus, right? What is another one? Rosemary is great for protection, and I will burn that. But I take charcoal. I like the charcoal. I put in my cauldron, and I will make a little herb incense and cleanse my whole home. But in terms of making it a routine, I just feel like when the energy is heavy here, then I will intentionally clean it. But because of the work I do, I am constantly energetic cleaning myself and my home. So I guess to me, it's just a normal thing, but getting in your own routine would be, I would say, like, start maybe once a week and, you know, energetically clean your home once a week. If you work from home, then burning some type of incense or herbs or something where that's cleaning the energy and your aura space every day would benefit you. But that gets, like, sometimes, you know, people are like, oh, I don't have the time to do that. So you don't want to hold yourself accountable, right? So I would start once a week. Again, if you're home and just cleansing the space, like I have incense going right now, Nag Champa, which is great for cleansing energy so that there's lighter energies around me while I'm doing this video. But if not, then once a month, especially around the full moon, because that energy is so supportive in letting go of things and banishing lower vibrations or negative energies that may weigh you down or create blockages within yourself. How do we shield ourselves from loved ones' energy? So I shield myself every day, which was a suggestion by my mentor about 7 months ago. And so I pray to my guardian angels, and this is exactly how I say it. And I do it for my son also. I pray to my guardian angels. I see my shield. I feel my shield to shield me from anything that is not of my highest good, to shield me from anybody I come in contact with, including my family, and to shield me from any radiation from electronic devices. Ashe. And that's it. But you can also wear crystals. Hematite just popped up. Black tourmaline just popped up. Smoky quartz just popped up. But remember, you may not always have those crystals on you. Now, if you need extra and you're like, I'm going somewhere, I know that person's energy is going to be heavy, then obviously you would intentionally carry something that's going to help you. Black kyanite just came up. It will literally take the energy, cleanse it, and put it back. So it's kind of like a recycler. Also selenite. So having selenite in your home, again, is another way to create that home ritual cleansing. I have selenite pieces all over my house for that reason, because it will recycle the energy and put it back out. What other skin treatments do you do along with healthy skincare? So I'm glad about this question. I'm glad I said I would answer the questions about skincare. I get a facial once a month, which actually during my acne battle, it made it worse, so I stopped getting it. So I actually didn't start getting facials until after my skin cleared up. But from what I hear, it does make things worse, and eventually will get better. So I get facials once a month. I have been using a Cure, their cleansing wash, while we are formulating our own cleansing wash, and I use witch hazel as a toner. That's about it in terms of skincare. I stick strictly to my healthy skincare because I have the best results. I do have like a couple of zits on my forehead, but I know that's from my stomach. So I needed to do a little cleansing for my stomach, which it already cleared up as soon as I started taking the supplements to settle my stomach. They already cleared up, and they're like super tiny. I don't even know if you can see them. And there's like 3 in a row. So stomach and liver. So I started taking milk thistle and something else for my stomach, and it's already clearing up. Okay. Do you ever feel embarrassed or uncomfortable talking about spirituality and witchcraft? No. Back in the day, I would, because I was always the weird one, right? But I am so utterly uncomfortable, or utterly comfortable, not uncomfortable. I am so comfortable with myself and who I am that I just kind of expect people to think I'm weird and just accept that I'm the weird one. And I actually really love it, because a lot of people who ask me certain things, they're really receptive. And I feel like me being so comfortable in my spirituality and being a witch, that it helps other people accept that maybe they are interested in things such as that, and they don't have to feel so like out of this world. And people, there's still people who like make fun of me and think it's like a joke. And I'm like, yeah, no, this is my real life. I am a practicing witch. Spirituality comes first. And yeah, I think it's about being comfortable with yourself. I think that's what spirituality to me is really being comfortable with yourself and loving yourself. And it doesn't really matter what anybody else says. There were times, like even years ago, where I would allow people to pull me out of my spiritual practices because they would tell me it was weird, and then I would fall and I would be so uncomfortable and I wouldn't be happy. And so now I know that I don't really give a flying fuck what you think about my spirituality or my witchcraft. People come over here and like, oh, what's that? And I'm like, that's my craft, you know, and that's what I do. And they're like, oh, you know, and most people are like, all right, cool. Like, you do the damn thing and you're living your life and you're living your best life. So I should probably start doing some of those things. And I wink like, yeah, you should. So yes, somebody said, are you by any chance a daughter of Oya? Yes, I am a daughter of Oya. I have not officially stepped into Lukumi yet, Ifa. I have my godmother. I picture her. I'm sending her love. I know she feels me. I know it. I know you see me. But I have not reached out to her yet. I'm just giving myself some time. I just finished my Orisha classes with her. So I'm giving myself some time to ask if she would accept me as her goddaughter. What is the difference between a session and a reading? Everything is on Skype because they said, is this on Skype? The session, a guidance session. Give me 1 second. A guidance session will be where there's something specific that you want to, like, you're like, oh, I'm moving on from a job. What is the, here's Ani. Let me let him in. Pause. Come on, baby. Okay, I'm back. A guidance session would be like, you want to work on something that has to do with like maybe your energy, right? And your life and removing blockages. And then I call on your divine team, asking them to channel through me anything that may benefit you, your growth, removing blockages, moving past things, cleansing, excuse me, whatever it may be. A mentor session is where you pick a topic. So I used to do these like a year ago, and I haven't done many since I brought it back. But a mentor session is where you pick a topic. So you're like, I want to learn how to read tarot. And then that's what we do. Or you're like, I want to learn about the chakras, and then we'll do that. But it won't be like, I'm using my intuitive downloads and the best of my knowledge, and I will also do further research if I feel necessary. A chakra session is where I read your chakras, see which ones maybe need a little bit of attention and which ones you may have blockages in, and then give you things to do, and may even refer you to other practitioners who can help with certain things, like trauma. One practitioner that I've been sending a lot of people to is a really good friend of mine, also previous client, actually current client. She's so awesome. Her name is Christine Lee of Moonsign Magic, and I send a lot of people to her. I have been sending, hopefully they've been messaging her for somatic experiencing to literally lift that energy associated with the trauma. So, and then a reading will be, I will use my energy, which is energy reading is like my form of divination. I will just tap in, but my other form of divination would be tarot. So I would use my cards, and maybe you have a specific question. Again, what comes up may be not what you exactly wanted. It's going to be what you need at that time. Have you ever had another spiritual person or healer doubt your gifts openly? No, and if they did, I would not fucking care. Because there's people who I'm for and there's people who I'm not. And some people are like, oh, you're a crock of shit. Okay, cool. Well, then I'm not for you. You know, I'm not here to please everybody. I'm not here for everybody. I know that I am tapped in, turned in, and turned on and tuned in, and all the things aligned and whatever it is. That was like from Abraham Hicks. Tapped in, tuned in, turned on, whatever. Okay, anyways, but I know my intuition is always on fucking point. I know my downloads are on point. I know spirit is always with me. I know my ancestors walk with me and guide me. I know, yes. So even if somebody's like, oh, you're fake, I'd be like, oh, okay. That's not my problem. That's yours. How do you learn to trust your intuition so deeply? Or have you always trusted it? The crazy thing is, as much as I would say I've always trusted it, there's times where I would be like, I second guessed it. And it was because I was having anxiety or I was ungrounded. But for the most part, I have always trusted my intuition, because my intuition, that queen, has never steered me wrong. Like, as soon as I feel something, I'm like, oh, no, that's it. Like, people cannot tell me otherwise. I don't give a fuck if it's written in front of me. If my intuition, if somebody wrote it down and it's in writing, if my intuition says otherwise, I'm listening to my intuition. And how did I learn to do so? You know what? I can't really think. I guess meditation was one of the main reasons that my intuition has been always, well, I guess meditation has always been the reason why I've trusted it, because I've always spent so much time meditating. But I don't really know how I've learned to trust it. I just always knew it was something that I was desiring, to trust my intuition more than anything. And I guess the desire of wanting to trust my intuition more than anything, and my downloads and the alignment and the guidance led me to different things that would assist me in trusting my intuition. Are you a flavored CBD oil? Are your flavored CBD oils the same as the ones in the black bottle? The Ultra are a little bit more potent than the regular full spectrum. And most of the time I'll take less of the Ultra, because they are a little bit more potent. And that's for Thought Cloud, because I am part of the Thought Cloud family, just for anybody who's wondering what I'm talking about. Thought Cloud CBD. What tools should a person have to start a spiritual journey? The tools, all you need is meditation. Actually, let me tell you the tools that you need. You need yourself, and that's it. That is all you need to start your spiritual journey. You need yourself, and the willingness, and the determination, and the motivation within inside you to start your spiritual journey. You need nothing more than that. You need yourself and your breath, your mind and your body. You don't need anything else actually to go on a spiritual journey. You don't need books, you don't need cards, you don't need any of that actually to go on your spiritual journey. All you need is yourself, and giving yourself time to meditate and paying attention to your breath. Those little things will spark your spiritual journey beyond what you even imagined, and you don't need a specific magical tool to do so. How do you get time to meditate while having kids? I always find time to meditate. I do not make an excuse. Even if I am drinking and I did not meditate, I will stop what the fuck I'm doing, even if I am buzzed, and go meditate and speak a mantra to ground myself. I always find time to meditate. Every day. Whether it's getting up early, whether it's after Owen goes to bed, whether it's while I'm doing in the middle of work, I never make excuses, knock on wood. I always find time to meditate. I always find time to meditate. Every single day, there are no excuses. Even if it's 3 minutes, 3 minutes counts. The best books about chakras, I have two. I have a traditional tantric, I think it's called tantric or chakra, I can't remember. It's somewhere over there, and I'm not going to go grab it right now. But one book that I have, a lot of the stuff that I learned from chakras is from experience, from downloading, from channeling information. But the Chakra Bible is a really great book to have. And remember, the thing about chakras is everything was energetically downloaded and word of mouth. So there may be a book here that references something completely different here. It doesn't mean either is wrong. It's what do you connect to? Remember that. That goes for crystals. That goes for witchcraft. That goes for everything in life. Just because it's here like this and it's different here doesn't mean either is right or wrong. It's what do you connect to? What works for you? Favorite crystal for meditation. I have not been using crystals for meditation lately, but my favorite crystal is a clear quartz from a friend, Stanka. She gave it to me for helping her husband with his tennis elbow. For those of you that know, I'm a licensed physical therapist assistant in the state of Ohio. I don't practice anymore. It's almost been a year, but I carry that everywhere. It is in my wallet. I don't take it out. Okay. That is that. Those are all the questions. The other ones, literally, there must have been 20 questions of people just saying, no questions, just sending you love. I love that. I love that. Yeah, I just love you guys. Oh, and somebody did ask, can I send you a gift? Yes, I am openly accepting all gifts, monetary and physical. material gifts for my 30th birthday. This is something that I've never done before. So in the comments below, I'm going to put my Venmo, I'm going to put my PayPal, I'm going to put my Cashapp, and my P.O. Box. So if you want to be more than kind to send me something for my birthday, money or a gift, I am openly receiving it, which feels so weird telling people I'm receiving gifts from random strangers. But this 30th birthday, I'm going all in, all motherfucking in, because this is the biggest birthday for me in my life so far. And I have been waiting for this moment, which is so funny because I have almost been recording for 30 minutes. There we go, 30 minutes. And so, yeah, I have been waiting for this birthday since forever. So I am openly receiving all gifts, money, material gifts, just sending love, prayers, whatever it is. So thank you. But I want to thank every one of you who took time to watch this today. I'm not going to say I'm going to do these all the time because I just don't know if I'll have the time. But it was fun to be able to do this one video for you all. And yeah, thank you for submitting your questions. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support always. Thank you, God, first and foremost. The God within me, the God around me, the God that is all of you. Ashe.